Aussie.
Alrighty, here we are for Sunday night. I'm going to chill out on a live stream with my new, much more professional splint on my finger. I'm not sure if it's squeezing it too hard. It feels a bit sore, but maybe it needs to. Maybe it needs to be squeezed. I don't know. I'm paranoid I'm doing everything wrong and this finger's going to be fucked up for the rest of my life. But anyway, I will go see a GP this week and ask their opinion. Well, okay, I've been doing some prep stuff. I'm going to make a video and I need to clear some stuff. Hello, Madam Butterfly and Strictly Sega. Yeah, very robotic. I think it's a very robotic splint that somehow makes me think it's better. Okay, move some shit on my sideboard over here. Trying to give myself a bit of space to work here. Oh, found my other wood chips. See? You should always clean up, kids. I found my other wood chips that I'd lost track of. They were just under some other stuff. Okay. I've been clarifying custard. Like supermarket custard. What bottles do I have here? Because I need some bottles. These will do. Okay. You know what? I'll make my life easier and put them over here. They'll be off camera. They won't be in the way. Come in, you bastard. Trying to get a stopper to come out. There we go. Okay. Now, let's do this. You come over here and sit in there. There you go. Precious clarified juice. And you come over here. And, oh wow, now I need to move that. Move that. You sit in there. Nice. All clarified stuff. Now, unclarified stuff, we'll just top up those funnels. And this one. And this one. There we go. That's all done. I'll probably just leave those overnight. Worry about them tomorrow. Okay. Last thing I have to do, maybe put that into one container for ease of use. All right. Oh man, that's tasting really good. Just kind of, I've got some, I need to clean up. Sorry, I'm just all over the place. So this is clarified brandy custard. Hey, honey, how you doing? And Celtic. Okay. Just need to get some paper. You got a spillage of some of the goopy custard that I want to clean up. Just splashes of curdled custard on my bench top there. Doesn't look the best. So, okay. Just got to do the shot of pouring the clarified custard over the sexy clear ice. Put my torch all the way over here. I didn't really need to. Need to defrost my ice. Celtic, I literally do have Snapchat. I think the username was Angry Aussie. How long Snapchat been around? I think I stopped using it the year after it came out. I'm literally looking for Snapchat on my apps. Maybe I deleted it. No, there it is, the little ghost. Yes, you can access the camera. It'd be pretty useless otherwise. Yes, I guess I might want to do things. Yes, the photo library. Wait, I've got notifications. Why is there no dates on these? No, that's a thing. Okay, there's stories on Snapchat now. They're trying to be Instagram. Okay, there's someone I know, but this is Instagram-y stuff. Like they've turned Snapchat into Instagram. It's my friend AJ, Avery J. Yeah, they've just turned it into Instagram. Sorry, what's not funny? Honey, almost bought eggnog. Tend to get obsessed, so maybe it's good you didn't get it. It's you want to follow the Alton. If you want to get really creative, follow the Alton Brown recipe for aged eggnog. It's not that difficult to make, and it's super fucking yummy. But I did do this is clarified supermarket eggnog, and it's really good with booze added. Okay, so I need to freshen up. Let's defrost this ice. For whatever reason, like Facebook stopped pushing the memories thing, and it just very occasionally says, "Hey, memories," and it did it tonight. And it was the 8-year anniversary. It was like my son's high school graduation was like St Kilda Town Hall, and we were parked on St Kilda Road, and while we're in there, a gum tree dropped a tree branch and smashed the rear window of my hatchback. It was like, fuck you. Also brings home I've had my car for a really long time. At least 10 years, I think. Still in good shape. I'm in no rush to change it. Anyway, okay, I'm going to do a quick video on, this is another Christmas clickbait one. Clarified brandy custard. I added more brandy. Celtic, I'd let him do the... I'm not getting dunked. He has to do it Catholic style. I'm not getting dunked. You try and drown me. I'd let him do it just to hiss and spit like the holy water was burning me. All right, so clarified custard. First step, we want a nice slow-mo shot of pouring it in so it looks cool. Quick. Pour one out for the boys. It's nice and viscous. It's got some richness from the custard. Okay. Do. Okay, we're getting ready. See how long it takes me to talk through this. Got a tripod with no camera on it. Here's the camera. You know, another thing about having this splint on, I can easily take it off and show you what my finger looks like. Which is not terrible. It's not great. It's not terrible. And my audio recorder for the speaking to be captured. All right, I'm gonna dive into this. Turn this on. All right, loading. Yeah, that's ready to go. Let's do this. Oh shit, the battery's flat in this. Okay, that's going to cut out. I normally plan ahead better than this. Just a minute, I get another battery. Okie dokie. Got a new battery. Let's actually probably much easier if I take it off the tripod. Much less awkward. There we go. All right. Take two. Okay, where are we? That looks about right. Let's go. Which bottles are rattling? G'day, cocktail lovers. G'day, cocktail lovers. I'm bringing you another idea for Christmas cheer today, taking something from the supermarket and trying to make it more interesting. And today it's Christmas custard. Like, they bring out brandy or sometimes rum flavored cocktail. Oh, fucking can't. Okay. G'day, cocktail lovers. It's time to bring you some more Christmas cheer ideas. I'm taking something from the supermarket and trying to make it more interesting. Today, I'm doing Christmas custard. Don't know about where you are, but where I am around November, December, the supermarkets bring out custard it's rum flavored or brandy flavored because that's Christmassy. I just have mental images of grandparents when I was a kid and they're like having a brandy for medicinal purposes. So I was of the opinion that I didn't like brandy custard or rum custard because as any rational kid, I didn't like the taste of alcohol. Given that I don't think the supermarket custards really taste like brandy or alcohol at all, because they certainly have no alcohol content in them, I'm going to brandy it up. I'm going to put a whole bunch of brandy into this, and I'm going to clarify the whole thing. Why, you may ask, am I attempting to clarify custard? Because I can. At least I think I can. I admit going into this, I thought, have I done this before? This could be a bit dubious. I also decided I wanted to make it a bit like a custard tart, like get the crust flavor. So I'm putting some amaretto in there as well, because I think amaretto in drinks often gives a good sort of biscuity taste. So it tastes like the pie crust. And as cinnamon is like a Christmas flavor in most people's minds, I have this cinnamon liqueur that I've had for ages, and there's just a little bit left. I thought I'll use that up. Just what is left in here is going in. At least half my motivation for doing this clarification is, again, I have some orange juice because I was peeling oranges to use as garnishes on cocktails. So there's a denuded orange. Let's juice it. And rather than just drinking the orange juice, I'm using that as the acid element to do this. But I'll show you now how I made it. I decided to use around 400 mils of the custard, and I was going to make the cocktail side about equal to that. So I went with 150 mils of brandy, then 100 mils of amaretto, and what I had left of the cinnamon liqueur, which turned out to be about 100 mils. Then I added 100 mils of orange juice and about 60 mils of my spiced apple brown sugar syrup. Maybe I did it the other way around. No. Yeah, no, I did it in that order. Then I slowly added that to the custard, giving it a gentle stir. And this is when I had my first misgivings as I tried to mix it in. That custard is really thick, and I really wasn't sure if this is going to work. I let it sit for about half an hour and thought, well, it looks like we've got some separation happening. This should work. So I poured it through a paper coffee filter and let it run into a bottle. And as I always say, the trick is you need the curds to settle. So the first amount that will run through is going to be at least a bit cloudy. So you want to let it run for a while till it's running clear. and then you can put it back through, or alternatively, you put it all through more than once. While it was running through, it was running through quite slowly, and that's going to have two potential solutions for me. One is just give it lots of time, just let it sit, maybe overnight, and it will have finished. The second is if this is just not going to work, I might redo it and use cheesecloth instead of the paper coffee filters, because the cheesecloth is a bit more porous. It will still hold the curds, so you still will get clarification, but the liquid will run through more easily. Turns out time was the answer. As I said, the first bit was a bit cloudy. Put that back through and then just be patient, and we have enough for a serving. And once we have enough for a serving, all that's left to do is to pour it over some sexy clear ice, so it just beautifully shows off both the clarified cocktail and the clear ice. And here we have it. This was honestly a bit of faffing around, so I'm hoping it tastes good to justify the work. Let's see. Honestly, that tastes great. That is really good. That is dessert in a glass. There is a real richness from the custard, and the booze is all being tamped down a bit, but some of the orange is coming through, which I like. It's given it a fruity vibe. Oh, and it's just slightly thicker. That sounds unappealing when I say thicker or viscous, but those are the best words. It's got the mouthfeel. It's got a richer mouthfeel, and it just really sits on the palate, and it's really good. If you like sweet treats, this is a sweet treat. This is a liquid dessert. This would brighten up any Christmas post-dinner or lunchtime. In Australia, it's by the pool. In Northern Hemisphere, maybe some people are around a fire or whatever, because you get your winter Christmas. This is just great, though. I'm really glad I did this. I was worried about it more than once, but it's paid off. It is working. I'm getting the clarified drink, and it tastes really good. So, yeah, if you want to serve something that's a bit different this year, try making a clarified custard cocktail, and tell them it's Angry's idea, and they should come along, because you're watching me. They should come and watch me too. Subscribe, like, all those things. I like this. Thumbs up. My splint on my dislocated finger is mutating. Looks a bit more medical now, but it's still an annoyance and somewhat in pain. But I soldier on. This will help me soldier on. I hope you're taking care of yourself wherever you are. I hope to see you again soon. Until I do see you again, I'll say cheers. This is actually really yummy. I made it really sweet, honestly. Maybe didn't need to be this sweet, but I'm sweet. I deserve some sweetness. Let me just put all this stuff out of the way, and we can sit and have a Sunday night chat and see what's been happening in everyone's world. Here we go. I've been experimenting. You view 50-inch TV from 2 to 2.5 meters is a bit too far. Trying a 1.2 to 1.5. More emotion. Jeez, dude. Good. There was an episode of the IT crowd where they're watching their TV, and it's just normal. They've got a flat screen TV, but then there was a final wide shot. They were just in their hallway. So they've got their lounge in a hallway against one wall, and the big screen TV is about here. Like it's about 30 centimeters away. Hey, Rain, how you doing? Feel like I haven't seen you for a little while. I hope you've been taking care. I'm just gonna pour that last little bit. We can just there's different consistencies of liquid blended in this, because I can see it squealing. swirling around. Hey, just come from listening to Doctor Who audio. Well, Doctor Who Day is always a good day. Just remembering all my good times with Doctor Who. Literally, I watched it from behind the lounge as a kid. Some of the scarier 70s stuff. Yeah, as I understand, like, because the BBC decided no one would ever want to watch the old black and white Doctor Who. So they actually destroyed most, if not all, of their copies of it. But various people around the world had saved copies because there was no satellite transmission really in the day. Like videotape would be shifted around the world for affiliates to play. And people from the affiliate stations often kept the Doctor Who tapes. So some episodes that were thought to be lost were found. Like the BBC said, yeah, you know what? If you kept those tapes, that's illegal. But honestly, we want them for the archives. So we won't give anyone a hard time who has them. And apparently audio of every episode exists. I'm not completely sure. But certainly at least most of the lost episodes, there is still an audio recording, which is interesting. Hey, Damon. Yeah, no, they destroyed like, what's it, like 4 or 5 years of Doctor Who. The first 2 Doctors, basically they destroyed all their archive of the first 2 Doctors. Honey found viewing from 1 meter is too hard on the eyes. 2.5 meters is great. God, how far away from my TV at home? I've never bothered to measure it, but probably 3 meters. I don't know. Nice, Damon. That shows you as a man of class and distinction, Damon. So, okay, Video Gamey, you were listening to one of the audio productions. Oh, the audio productions I think are interesting as well. They're doing them like radio plays, which I think is great. They're doing original stories, and there's a bunch of them. And so, yeah, they can get older doctors because they're not appearing on screen. It's just their voice. So they can do multi-generational audio productions, which I think is quite clever. I have to admit, I've not actually listened to any of them, but I believe they are quite popular with some people. So I think that is a fun thing they do. I got the Doctor Who novelizations as a kid. This is why I never judge anyone who's reading books and say, that book's trashy, particularly not kids. If a kid reads a book, and an adult says, well, that's a trashy book, you shouldn't read that, you should read a good book. Like, fuck that adult, honestly. If a kid's reading anything, I mean, including comics, and I'm being a bit defensive here being a comic reader, but yeah, if a kid's reading anything, encourage it. Like, I can still track, I used to read the picture books, Asterix, and a few others. And the first textbook I can remember choosing to read on my own, I saw it in the library. It was Action Man. It was inspired by the British version of G.I. Joe. And so they were war stories. And that was another thing, British war comics like Commando and whatnot. Used to read them a lot. Like my older brothers would buy them and I would read them. So then there was this actual text, novel series for Action Man. And I don't remember them at all. I'm going to go with they were incredibly simplistic and not particularly great bits of writing, but I got into them. And then one day I was in the library and I saw there were Doctor Who books. They were novelizations of the TV show. And I was like, what the hell? Doctor Who books? And I just went for them. And I read some, and I built up a collection of my own of them as well. And then I eventually started reading more serious books by about year 7, year 8. I was into the classics of sci-fi, H.G. Wells, Arthur C. Clarke, John Wyndham, and fantasy, Lord of the Rings in particular. And so yes, my reading's still not particularly highbrow. I do prefer like sci-fi and fantasy. But yeah, don't shit talk someone who reads a book just because you think the book's not a very highbrow. Reading is a positive mental exercise. Hey, Hannah, how are you? Oh, video game. That's the other one I was trying to remember. Tintin. I know there were two big ones. Asterix was one. Tintin was the other. Yes, nice. Remain upright following meds check-in. Nice. You're soldiering on. You're being strong. See with this, now I've got my proper medical brace on my finger. Don't know if it's too tight. The foam inside is wonderfully comforting. Yes, Franklin, you've wandered in on Doctor Who talk. Let's go. So it doesn't look that crooked now, the little finger. Can't really hold it steady. It wants to move. It's like a fucking pressure sore in there. Like the skin didn't break. That's not broken skin from the fall or anything. That's a fucking pressure sore from these two fingers were strapped together for 2 weeks. And I stopped strapping them together because it was fucking hurting. I can bend the top joint without any pain, but the actual dislocated one does not want to bend. And I don't know if I need another x-ray. I have this nightmare that it's all fucked up and I'm going to have surgery or at least a local anesthetic where someone re-breaks it, re-dislocates it. I'm quite paranoid about it. But anyway. So, Hannah, you've got yourself a meal. Did not consist of toast or soup. Nice. No, Hannah, there was no padding between the fingers. They were just pressed hard against each other for 2 weeks. Yeah, it's not quite right. I don't know if it ever will be. Hey, Justin. But this, I like this is nice and soft and spongy, but then also holds the finger gently. They're buddy strap. They're meant to have a bit of padding. Well, it was a nurse, but yeah. I just kind of trusted that they knew what they were doing. Was in an urgent care clinic, which was really just a GP practice. It's a little bit hard to do one-handed. Might get Mrs. Angry to do it properly later. Oh, yeah. Okay, Franklin, you've been missing the news. I slipped in the rain 2.5 weeks ago. Oh, no, it's just 2 weeks. Just 2 weeks ago. Slipped in the rain and fell quite badly and dislocated my pinky. There were a few bruises on other parts of my body, but dislocated the finger. Yeah, now it's I like it. It's a very cyborg finger now. The fact that it's shiny metal makes me feel good. All right. That clarified custard was somewhat troublesome. Glad I did it. It is actually really yummy. Yeah, I have this somewhat, it's probably just a paranoid fear at the moment that I'll never be able to bend that finger again, or I'll need surgery to be able to bend that finger again. Like, oh, whatever. We shall see. Like I said, I'm going to go to a GP this week and say, like, is this fine? Is this progress? Or is this fucked? Do I need to get referred to a specialist for this? So that's my trials and tribulations. But, like At least it was the left hand, not the right hand, and it's probably nothing permanent. And, I have a whole bunch of friggin' glass half full approaches to it. And you did 3 years studying anatomy. Reassurance fingers stiffen up really fast. They'll go back to. Oh man, this finger, which was not injured in the fall, but was strapped to that one for 2 weeks, it's still fucked. Like, it's bruised. See, it's bruised from being crushed against the other one. And I still spend a lot of time massaging it. And it's quite sensitive. Like, because it's been squished for 2 weeks. Alex Hoovian, looks like I'm drawing the Doctor Who fans out by celebrating Doctor Who Day, and yeehaw. Nice to see you. Justin, you're moving and discovering all the crap you've accumulated. Yeah. Well, my last move, we hadn't moved in 10 years. We had so much shit. I'm taking some time off in December, and one of the things I'm going to do, we're doing a couple of nice getaways, spoiling ourselves. But another thing I'll be doing is working through some of the crap in boxes and doing a bit more cleaning up. And the other thing holding your fingers together are tendons. They get very tight very easily. Little hand therapy right in my... Oh, thank you, Hannah. I appreciate the positive words. Just the fact I can't bend this one yet. Like, I can't, reflexively do it at all, but I go okay, I can do it. And I can move the top joint, and that doesn't help. Doesn't hurt, but it just feels like I can't move the middle joint, so I don't want to fuck with it. Just in high school textbooks. Nice. When my offspring moved out, they left some stuff that they were obviously chucking out, but it was like cute school stuff, like primary school stuff. I was keeping because I'm sentimental. Does the finger look swollen? Look, Hannah, I'll show you. Weren't you? I was showing it off before. I don't think it does look swollen, and it doesn't feel. Like if something's infected, it can feel hot. It doesn't feel like there's anything. It's a little bit swollen. Actually, it is. Putting it next to the unbroken pinky, it's a little bit swollen and it's a little bit crooked. But it doesn't look bad. And I'm not in a lot of pain. High school textbooks are older than current high schoolers. That puts stuff in perspective. I certainly didn't keep any textbooks. I did keep some things from high school. 40% of swelling occurs before it's visible. Possible the joint itself is very stiff due to fluid. It could be. Yeah. That could easily be the case. Oof. It's very hard to do one hand. Well, very hard. It is difficult. I might get Mrs. Angry to do it properly. I'm repeating myself. I know I said that. Repeat stuff. Repeat stuff. Crooked may also be due to the swelling. Bone itself may be straight, and the swelling just makes it look wonky. Yeah, exactly. But that was the funny thing when I fell. I was extremely conscious of my face hitting the ground because that kind of grabs your attention when you smash your face into the ground. And I thought I could taste blood because it didn't really cut the inner side of my lip, but it bruised it a bit and it kind of tasted like blood. And so I spent a bit of time feeling for broken teeth and it was all fine. This hand sort of fell the normal way and was bruised. And I don't know, it was a minute or two later because I could not feel any pain at all. And then I looked down at the hand and the finger was just completely wrong. Like I was just looking at it going, okay, that's not right. That doesn't look good at all. And then I got the x-ray and it was indeed dislocated. Interesting question, Justin. I don't know how often they change the curriculums at school. And it probably depends on the topic too. So I'm wondering, do I still have my... Oh, yeah, there's the... Okay. I shared it on Discord before. I'm going to do it again, my x-ray. So you can see my dislocated finger. Where is it? Do. Sorry, just looking at the jokes. God, Strickzy went mad with jokes. I like it. Right, I'm going to share that picture too. But where's my finger? There it is. Okay. Now I'm going to share that. Justin, I did see the Mamdani meeting Trump, and it's like Trump appears to have been completely charmed by Mamdani. So is that, Hannah, they only do surgery if the bone itself is broken. Yeah. Constriction comes from palm of your hand, not fingers, Jenny. Okay. So it was Franklin. What do you say? Oh, that's a NSA. Things take time to get right. Younger days, dislocated shoulder, never seen a doctor. Happened a bunch of times since. You pop it back in. Good Lord. Happened while swimming. Jerked after grabbing a jellyfish, as you would. Good Lord. Yes, your ocean swims are wild. Old school screwed themselves. Document outlining usual things like student behavior, things that may impact in the class was made accessible to students, but it included teachers' personal commentary on students' appearance. Oh no! Hello, Luigi. You've discovered a profound new food combo. Spanish green olives stuffed with whole cloves of garlic. Good Lord. That sounds wild. And then you're saying shoulder dislocations, dangerous. Pinch the nerve, do permanent damage. Yeah, I can see that, Hannah. Franklin seems to just be taking it in his stride. Business as usual, as it were. Man, that's good. Not a good look when a 30K school gets caught out discussing students' hair and if they're odd. Don't write stuff down, for God's sake. Justin, I saw people saying that. I want to see the video of it. Mamdani's asked if he still calls Trump a fascist, and Trump intervened and said, "It's okay, you can just say yes." And I think Mamdani did say yes. It's like Trump is so shallow. If someone's charming and friendly to him, he suddenly goes there also. Like he was talking so much shit about New York, and then it's like Mamdani just came to him and was sincere. And Trump's going, "Oh, that's great." And also, Trump would definitely think it's funny that Mamdani fucked over Cuomo. By fucked over, I just mean beat savagely in an election, because Trump is not going to be a friend of Cuomo. And the school called it a data leak. Teacher uploaded the document on Teams, told students to access a different document, but they found it. Jesus. Honestly, that is rookie mistake. Can understand a document that says a student has ADHD, need an extra support. Parents are separated, struggling to cope with use. Not like bad haircut, an absolute weirdo. Yeah, it's very, very, very foolish behavior by those teachers. Very foolish. You're gonna have some more. My clarified cocktail, my urine sample in a glass. Person needs to hydrate more. God, I wonder if this one's actually going to be done when I get up in the morning. Oh well, I don't care. It can just sit there. Justin, your school had a minor controversy. Teacher making inappropriate comments about primary school students. Okay. Yeah, yeah, if you're saying about primary school students, that sounds even worse. Ooh, man, that tastes good too. That's the eggnog. So your school has a history of sweeping certain things under the rug. It's all linked to one particular principle. God. Oh no, Rays, you're getting old. What's made you feel old? I feel old because I fell over and dislocated my finger. Wait, oh God, sorry. I'm going to get obsessive and fiddle with this now. Yeah, that's cloudy. I need to. I'm going to do this. This is me trying to make my life more difficult. I'll do that. Oh, shite. Do we know the difference between shit and shinola? Okay. So school access donor information, used it inappropriately. A teacher married a student a week after they finished school. Now a Dudley. Good Lord. Oh, God. Every now and then when you get these stories about teachers marrying students, you know, they didn't do anything until after, but it's fucking grooming. Oh, it's gross. Justin, there's a private school near where you lived had a controversy. Raised fees by 20%. That's about the least controversial thing private schools do. Always raising their fees. So it was a bold move, a school where the majority of parents are either high-paid lawyers or can afford high-paid lawyers. Yeah, that's when that is really going to get you. When the parents have the resources to go after the school. That's going to hurt. Yum. Okay. My clarified Christmas drinks are good. I'm just saying. I'm complimenting myself. I made some things and they're good. So, you know what? Actually, now I'm not using the table anymore. I'm going to put this on the table too, because it's easier to manage over there. Let's just see how this goes. How's that actually? I don't know if that's even going through. I think I saw a drip there. Yeah, it's going like a drop every 10 seconds. That'll go through really quickly. One drop every 10 seconds. So here's someone sent away for a year, came back to enjoy a year, spent the entire final year in the percussion room instead of class. During schooly weeks, she went to New Zealand and married the percussion teacher. Oh, God. That's so creepy. Like I say, it might be, from what they admit, strictly speaking, legal. Like there was another case where a woman, like 10 years later, she actually brought charges against the teacher who she married and had kids with, because she realized he'd been grooming her since she was 14, and although they denied it at the time, there was sexual activity when she was underage. So it's like, damn. So just saying Canberra private schools are half the price of Melbourne private schools. I mean, I don't give a shit about the fees they charge at private schools. I aggressively have a problem with how much taxpayer funding they get. There should be a baseline level of support, but some of the wealthiest schools seem to actually get more taxpayer money than state schools. So because she was 18 when they married, but at the end of the day, I don't know, it's 30s. Oh, yeah, no, that's the whole thing. Even if there was no, strictly speaking, illegal sexual activity between them, it's still fucking grooming. It's not just the age, it's the power imbalance, the teacher student power imbalance. It's fucked up. And yes, Justin, Emmanuel Macron, his wife was his high school teacher, and they were definitely having sex when he was underage. It's just like, damn. And I wouldn't cut any slack there because she's a woman and he's a guy. It's like, no, it is creepy. So they never admit to the criminal parts, but it's almost always criminal as well. And just the power imbalance, and it's just weird and fucked up. So this teacher was prepared. He resigned, hired an all-boys school before the wedding. I believe in this one I was reading, it was on the ABC. It was on multiple news outlets, but I think it might have been on either Four Corners or Australian Story or something. I was just reading about it on the ABC website. Again, I think that teacher in a case did resign, and like they moved towns, to be away from prying eyes. But yeah, it was like 10 years later she realized, wait, this was all wrong. This guy should be up on charges, and he was actually convicted, as he should have been. Justin, it's not always male teachers. Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah, no, there are, and you see, in the US in particular, they become big media stories when a female teacher has an inappropriate relationship with a male student, or a female student for that matter. They become big stories in the US. Sorry, anywhere. I just feel like I've seen more that become media circuses in the US. Because maybe everything is like a media circus in the US. I don't know. And as controversial as this is, struggle to believe it was grooming in this case. Inappropriate. She knew the girl wasn't a child. Look, I'm just going with, by definition, that stuff was happening when she was of an age that made it a criminal offense. And just the power imbalance between a teacher and a student, gross and exploitative. Now, again, you maybe talk to this girl and she would go, this was my choice, it's what I wanted. I wasn't coerced and da-di-da-di-da. But it's just, there's a control aspect to it that's just fucked. I mean, age differences in adult relationships are just an individual thing for individual people. But adults in positions of power over adolescents, exploiting that power and exploiting their position and their influence over the adolescents, is fucked up. And it's inappropriate and wrong. Very little manipulation. Oh, yeah. But also, and it was what you're saying, the teacher or any person in an authority role has a responsibility to not take advantage of someone who's, got pretty poor consequential thinking skills. Oh, God, you say she divorced in her early 20s and married someone in the 50s. Yeah, well, some people have a type. And, as I am fond of saying, it's a whole thing. Like I say, I don't have a problem with adults making adult choices, even if it's outside the most common sort of relationship structures. Adults can make decisions. Adults can make bad decisions too. Adults sometimes do. We most of our societies try to say, outside of committing criminal acts, I'm not going to try and govern the decisions of adults, leaving adults free to make really bad choices. Because while kids are much more likely to make bad choices because they aren't real good at consequential thinking, they're not real good at wrapping their head around the idea you could commit an act today that will fuck up your entire life. But just because kids are slightly or maybe much more prone to make bad decisions doesn't mean adults don't make bad decisions and self-destructive decisions. Okay, Hannah, I'm getting you don't like this guy. You didn't like them. I'm getting that. Probably well earned on their part. So just we're saying St. Kevin's College put out a statement reminding staff to behave themselves. Not go on a pub crawl with year 12s. Yes. Don't. Really. Like you can argue. Oh, I didn't know you were friends. Okay. Okay, that's why you feel like you know her. Ah, okay. Okay, that puts a slightly different slant on. Now I get. You're saying you feel like you know her because you were friends. Okay. I don't think I knew anyone back in my hometown who had affairs with teachers. I don't remember any rumors about that. We did have teen pregnancies, but that was to other teens. She said when someone mentions St. Kevin's, think of the song they would sing on the tram on the way home. Get the same city. Oh, God, okay. That sounds like a worry. Private school kids singing songs on public transport. So, absolutely scummy, inappropriate. Oh, yeah. But you think she was active? Yeah, look, and again, I remember being a teenager and I remember what some teenagers were like. And quite a few male and female teenagers actively seek out dangerous and ill-advised situations. I mean, it's a fair point. In a perfect world, a teacher wouldn't have to tell teachers not to go on pub crawls with students. Shadow Foxy Girl, hello, how are you? Oh, God. Oh, God, Strictly Sega. That song is actually sounding worse than I was suspecting it would be. You were 15 and going, this is wrong. Oh, my God. And you got friends that are teachers. They say there's at least one kid says inappropriate thing, tries to be friends. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's, oh, God, Shadow Fox. Well, we're talking about all sorts of things, but we're talking about inappropriate relationships between school teachers and students is one of the things we're talking about. No, okay, you're stopping before it gets worse. It gets way worse. I get it. I am picking up what you're laying down. Drinking my pink lemonade because I'm a very manly man. Gonna take it easy and probably not drink any more alcohol tonight. Workday tomorrow, going into the office because that's just such a worthwhile thing to do. Woohoo! But my last week of work, then I'm on 3 weeks leave. Yay! And no, I'm probably not going to do streams longer than normal because I don't want to fuck myself up. Just in St. Kevin's has cultural issues. Yeah, Shadow Fox, I got this. This is actually sugar-free pink lemonade because I was getting it when it was on half price in the supermarket. But I like to have some tasty non-alcoholic beverages on hand because I like to be drinking something while talking on a stream just to keep my throat lubricated. Don't want my throat to dry out. I could just drink alcohol all the time, and there'll be several people here who've seen what happens to me when I do that hours on end. So I have tried to mend my ways and mix things up with non-alcoholic beverages, because I'm trying to be at least mildly responsible. Justin, you're going to be the only person in your team going to the office in Melbourne. Well, be fun interactions. Am I going to die from too many cocktails? I mean, I have lost consciousness from too many cocktails. Yeah, I got to go easy on the booze. I've only got 9 good things. I feel like I have to tell people I was completely sober when the finger thing happened. It was just raining and the footpath was wet and I slept. Yes, 3 weeks leave. Well, before Christmas, the first 3 weeks of December, I'm taking off with Mrs. Angry. And then I will be at work over Christmas, New Year's, because that's usually a really quiet time. Although it's funny because I work in cybersecurity, and if I was a hacker and I wanted to do a big exploit, when would I do it? I would do it over Christmas, New Year's, when everyone's on holidays and no one wants to look after things. So I'm effectively on call if something shit happens over Christmas, New Year's. I've had that conversation several times. At what age does it stop being I'm clumsy and it was slippery and I had a fall? I am definitely old enough that I had a fall. I think this was my first serious old man fall. But the fucking foot, it sounds like I'm overcompensating. It was not an old man fall. It was a misjudgment on my part, slipped and tripped on the gutter when getting up on the footpath and just fucking pitched into the ground. It was shit. Like, ugh. As I've said several times, it felt like there was a little time freeze as I fell that was just consciously going, oh, this is going to be bad. And you think it's a fall if there's no extenuating circumstances. But yeah, it was dodgy footpath and wet. It's just an accident. Yeah. But yeah, if you're just walking across and fall, that's an old man fall. Yeah, that's me. So what's that, Heine? There was a hack inserted into the Linux kernel around Christmas. Changed to random number generator, so it only put that 1,000. Okay. Not sure what that is, but anyway. I was not. The one thing is I wasn't carrying anything, because that was like the deal with young Mr. Angry, helping him move by providing car. I said, look, I helped your sister move, and it fucked me up for weeks, if not months afterwards with fatigue. So I can't be carrying things. I'll just have the car for you. But yeah, no, I was just stepping up on the footpath and slipped, tripped, smack. Just in work culture around Christmas in Australia is very different in other countries. US companies don't shut down over Christmas except for the day itself. Well, it's not so much that we shut. Well, actually, some places literally tell everyone you have to take a week's leave around here. My work doesn't. But I'm expecting, 75% of people to be off. I haven't started watching Pluribus yet, Strictly Sega. Started watching Foundation with Mrs. Angry. So it might be a while till I watch Pluribus. So Franklin reminded me, clip from Irish News a few years ago, super cold. They were talking about how paths are icy and someone walks past the camera, slips and falls. For a laugh, someone since set up a plaque that says, this is where the guy who slipped on TV. Nice. Oh, God, there's an Irish guy I've started watching on YouTube. He does a lot of shorts, and he's always playing up that he's a fat bastard and Irish stereotypes, and he always finishes everything with, follow me, I'm delicious. He's pretty funny. And you love people get time over Christmas. Yes, well, 5 p.m. Christmas Eve till 6 a.m. Boxing Day. Yeah, retail be like that. But again, back in the day when I were young, retail would just fucking shut. Justin, you get the week off with not using your leave? Damn, that's good. Oh, God, Raise. You get PTSD from Irish. That's what you get for working bar security in Perth, honestly. All those off the boat types. Yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from with that. But I've stumbled, like, because I think I've never got into TikTok. I think YouTube Shorts are way better than TikTok. I get better contact. And I know, I understand saying sweeping stereotypes can worry you, having gone to private school. I'm just kind of thinking fucking a certain type. And this is my prejudices coming into play. The more privileged they are, like the more wealthy their background, the worse they are. That's my prejudice coming in. Yes, Justin, I was guessing that's like 5 weeks a year. It was a good deal. Hey, Safa, how are you doing? Date night was frigging awesome, actually. It was a particularly good one. One of our, in fact, I don't know if you'll remember that we score everything and rate everyone. This is our number one rated date night venue. I think it's in like North Brighton. It's called Mr. and Mrs. P. It's super fucking good. We did we did their set menu, the feed me menu, where you don't know what you're going to get and they just bring out stuff. It's like 7 courses. It's like, 5 starters, 5 little snacky starters. It's not quite the fancy part, Safa, but it's getting there. And yes, Safa, it was actually pretty full. They were doing a roaring trade. So you get like 5 little snacky bits, and then the main was like a steak and potato and salad. And oh my God, okay, we had a choice of dessert. We got one that they call cheesecake, but it was like deconstructed cheesecake. It was a 6:30 dinner, Safa. It was so the cheesecake, there was no crust. The cheesecakey bit was soft. It had like a raspberry jam in it. But then they had cream. They had cream that they put liquid nitrogen into. So the cream had frozen and was in little crunchy bits, and it's in a pot, and they're like stirring it up to make sure all the liquid nitrogen's gone. And you've just, you've got the vapor pouring. I didn't get pics. Sorry, Safa. The vapors going over the edge, and then they sprinkle this cream on it. So it's it's funny because you normally get cheesecake where the cheesecake's firm and you've got like a hard crust, and if there's cream soft. The cheesecake was soft and the cream was crunchy, and particularly if you got some of the jam and the crunchy cream in your mouth, and of course your mouth is warm enough to liquefy the cream. God, it tasted so yummy. It's good. Also, really fucking good cocktails. The bartender was really into making off-menu. There's some quite good drinks on their menu, but like we had 3 cocktails each. 3 of the cocktails were on menu, 3 were off menu, but they were nothing outlandish. Like Mrs. Angry got a coconut margarita, which was really good. I got a Sazerac, which was really, really good. And then one we've been experimenting with lately is variations on a last word. And so, yeah, we just asked the bartender, like, give us your take on a last word. And that was really good too. And he loved that we were into the cocktails. So we were having a great chat with him. Like, we're best pals with him now. It's good. There were actually young people there at 6:30. There seemed to be a few girls' nights there. There were some bigger groups and just some pairs. Maybe they were dates. Maybe they were friend things. I don't know. Oh God, Franklin sent me the picture of the falling guy. Oh wait, speaking of pics, there, I was going to share some pics. Actually, that's an excellent point, Hannah. We do notice the negative much more than the positive, and it's like amplified. Okay, so there's two I wanted to share. Strictly Sega put this picture for Doctor Who fans on the Discord. Let's go. So that's what's his name? Who was everywhere for a number of years, but has been absent from our TVs for a few years. And look, Peter Capaldi's in the background. And just for fun, I'm showing it again. This is my fingy. You can see the middle joint quite significantly dislocated. It's not like really super bad, but is quite obviously dislocated. Shuki said, you went to 4 private schools. 2 public schools, and the private school boys were way, way worse. Well, yes, Arthur, it's been put together as we've been doing for the last 2 weeks. Apparently their idea is just, hold it, make sure it's held still, and it will naturally go back in. Suffolk Catholic school is technically private school because it's not a state school. And I went to Catholic school as well. So, yeah, I'm going to see a GP about this week. Say, hey, Doc, is this looking okay? Is this looking like normal recovery for an old man? Because I have this vague paranoia that it's all fucked up. Okay, should say Ivanhoe. I've always what the weird thing that always pops into my head. It's like an upper class Englishman boasting that he has an escort. Ivanhoe. For all private schools are for profit, Justin. I get what you're saying actually about the Singapore schools. God, Singapore's next level. But technically, all private schools are for profit. I know you're differentiating the Singapore system, and you're correct. Rove, that's it. Fucking Rove. Rove McManus. I totally blanked on his name. No, he was dressed up for Doctor Who. I think that might have been one of those Doctor Who Symphony events. Madam Butterfly looking at my finger sideways. My pinky's bigger. Ooh. Didn't Malaysia ban six? What? I'm not even sure what you're getting at there, Safa. Safa, I've been working on some clarified cocktails. I had, and this is store-bought stuff. I clarified. There's still a bit of the eggnog one left. This is clarified supermarket eggnog that has whiskey, rum, and brandy in it. And I've been working on clarified brandy custard with extra brandy. Yeah, just in private schools required to be non-profit. They may be required to be that on paper, but are they profiting from what they do? Yes, they are. Suffer's Ray's been on tonight, bemoaning that he feels old. I'm thinking, like, not as old as me, is all I'm saying. Oh, dear. Actually, I do want to share. Shrixeg has been putting a lot of jokes in the Discord. I do want to share this one because all the shit Trump was saying in the run up to the New York mayoral elections, he never looked at JD that way, and he didn't. Look at that. Just look at, like Zoran has just charmed Trump. Trump just obviously thinks he's a cool, successful, suave guy. Everyone's making jokes, that Trump's in love with Zoran now, but it's more he's just been convinced he's a cool, smart, suave guy, and he beat the Democratic party machine, which Trump likes. But God, Trump was fucking fawning over him. It was wild. Zafa, everyone thought Trump hated him. Trump talked so much shit about him in the lead up to the mayoral elections, but there's a simple fact is he's New York mayor and he won the election convincingly. And then they had a private meeting, and clearly Mamdani was just charming Trump, and Trump loves winners, and Mamdani is a big winner and fucked over very wealthy, very powerful, very influential people. And Trump loves it. But yeah, that whole press conference just made it look like Trump's fallen in love with Mamdani. It's hilarious, quite honestly. And that caption's real. I don't see any pictures of him looking at JD like that. I love that. That's so left field. Or was that a reference to Trump? Am I missing something? Scream 7 looks amazing. If you're literally just talking about the movie Scream 7, that is a good, completely oblique segue. Were you saying Justin Albanese had Trump smiling? You just seen the trailer. Okay, good. All right. I don't even remember the last Scream film I saw. Maybe 3? I don't know. You want to see it in the States, heading at end of Feb. All the best for the move to the States. And Danny's favorite video game was SimCity. Yes, well, that qualifies him to be mayor. I mean, interesting times ahead with what happens or doesn't. Oh, you're visiting. This is just a visit. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, well, I'm sure you're going to enjoy the visit. I'm still trying to get used to this splint. It's very weird against my finger. I'm trying not to overreact to it. But so if you're talking about sports, okay, I don't know if Australia won the first test in 2 days. You talking about like it looked bad for Australia on day one, and it kind of looked like England's first innings. They did shit, and Australian fans were gloating. But then Australia did worse, and so the English were gloating. And then England's second innings, they did not do well. And then the Australian second innings, they just fucking blitzed it. It's like only 2 wickets down, I think, and just like over in 2 days. Supposed to run for 5 days. Well, like back in the olden days, the unlimited tests, they would literally, sort of early to mid 20th century, they would literally just keep playing until everyone was out, which means the game was much more defensive in the early days, um, uh, because there was no time limit. So the batters would play much more defensively because you could just take your time. You could play for 10, 15 days if you didn't get out. Ray's, God, you're a hardcore Scream fan. No bad movies. Last few have been amazing, and they're talking about final. But again, is anything ever final in Hollywood? It's like if they think they can make money out of it, they will do it. It's always like when someone's like, "Oh, why are they doing that? Why are they?" In Hollywood, the answer is always because someone thinks they will make money, even if they're doing something prestige. It's like, what are they doing? Because they ultimately think they will make money doing it, either directly or indirectly. Well, I really liked old school SBS movie show with David Stratton and Margaret Pomerantz. Margaret Pomerantz would semi-regularly piss me off because she would have like pre-rehearsed platitudes that would come out repeatedly, and it's like, that's really annoying because you've said that before. You just say it because you think it makes you look clever and insightful. It's not a genuine thing. Whereas David Stratton could get annoying because he could be really snotty and whatnot. Madam Butterfly's sister's coming from Tuesday. Starting to, is that tough, is it? Having your sister for the best part of a week. Yes, Suffer. At one point, the ABC had the movie show. Yes. Okay, so you're being a bit tougher now. Strictly say you think Screams 6 was a bit shit, but 4 and 5 were good. Okay. See, I legit don't think I watched any after 3. And yes, David Stratton died recently. Relatively recently. It's kind of funny. One of the free-to-air SBS channels replays old movie show episodes, and it's super funny seeing 20, 30-year-old shows and them talking about movies 20 or 30 years ago, and because we know in retrospect how well that movie did or didn't do and what that actor, writer, director's career ended up being. So as a time capsule, they're very interesting. I'll raise, I'm reasonably sure Pat's reviews for all the Scream movies are best movie. He loves horror. And you and Streaky Sager are both saying the Scream movies are pretty good, then I feel quite sure Pat would give all of the Scream films his best rating just because he loves horror films. He likes to see someone else going around murdering. Should we say, we've said it before, say it again. Ever since he gave The Nun 10 out of 10. Is that the only reason you can't trust Pat's reviews? He just loves horror. Actually, yes, because he's forgotten how to access Discord, so he hasn't been posting new reviews for ages. But what were the recent reviews? The Asian action film, 10 out of 10. Megan 2.0, 10 out of 10. 28 Years Later, 10 out of 10. How to Train Your Dragon, 10 out of 10. Ballerina, the John Wick spin-off, 10 out of 10. House with a Clock in the Walls, 10 out of 10. Karate Kid Legends, 10 out of 10. Oh, I wanted to get his Bring Her Back. I thought that might have been too weird for him because it was pretty goddamn weird. But he gave it 10 out of 10. Lilo and Stitch, 10 out of 10. Final Destination, 10 out of 10. Oh, there we go. Clown in the Cornfield is 6 out of 8 for some reason. Then Thunderbolts is 10 out of 10. Until Dawn is 10 out of 10. Death of a Unicorn, 10 out of 10. I'm sure he has Dogman. I love someone who will give both horror movies and Dogman, the movie, 10 out of 10. Minecraft, 10 out of 10. Jason Statham, Working Man, 10 out of 10. Snow White, 10 out of 10. Well, they're all 10 out of 10s. Where was one that he didn't give it 10 out of 10? Because there were some that he surprised me. I think he only gave Wolfman 8 out of 10. Paddington and Peru only got 5 out of 10. That's pretty harsh for Pat. I think he only gave... sometimes he confuses me with... I think he only gave Gladiator 2 4 out of 10. Very harsh. He gave Red 1 10 out of 10. And a horror movie about a kangaroo called The Red, 10 out of 10. 9 out of 10 for Smile 2. Man-Eater Shark, 10 out of 10, best movie. He's a hoot. Devious Chris, hello, you've been watching a lot of horror. Latest season of the USA. Yeah, but that's also the last season, Chris. You can tell when it's the last season where the writers just keep pulling out really extreme plot twists. So I think we're all watching the last season of USA. Yes, I do love Pat reviews. Best movie, 10 out of 10. Ray's not seen that one yet. Gladiator was decent. Imagine they'd ruin the sequel. I just say Gladiator 2 was pointless, wasn't terrible, wasn't great, and there was some quite silly stuff in it. We're strictly Sega to review Pat's reviews. What I love is because he gives almost everything 10 out of 10. When he gives something less, it's like, oh, what was wrong? And he normally just says it was weird. So I don't think Gladiator 2 even counts as a cash grab because no one wanted it. And they certainly didn't make a lot of cash from it, I don't think. Yeah, that's the summary, Street Sega. The sequel no one wanted, nobody remembers. Like, I reckon it probably would have been better if it wasn't called Gladiator 2. If you removed the references to the original Gladiator and literally just had, hey, here's another Gladiator movie, come up with another name for it. Because the way they tried to tie it to the first Gladiator movie was quite frankly silly. Oh, but you know what? I don't know if I mentioned this previously. I stumbled on Paramount Plus or Amazon Prime old Graham Kennedy shows, and I mean like from the 60s, where he and Bert Newton are absurdly young, and it's black and white, really low resolution, and the show was done live. So they do ad reads. It's hilarious. It's like podcasts are now, where podcast hosts interrupt the show just to do ad reads. That's what Graham Kennedy and his cohorts would do on, Graham Kennedy Live. They would just break the show to do an ad read. It's very funny. Rose, you felt that about Rob Zombie's Halloween? Yeah, I've not really watched any of the Rob Zombie horror movies, actually. But yeah, it's kind of like hype, like, ooh, Rob Zombie, he's a wild guy. Oh, he wants to make horror movies. Yeah, let's release horror movies. But I don't think I've seen any of them. I'm not super big on horror. I don't mind horror, but I'm not super big on it. Yeah, so you say statistics say it's 3 times more people will listen to an ad read over an actual commercial. Same with radio. Yeah. But of course, the funny thing is because the Graham Kennedy shows were live, so if something went wrong, it went to air live. And like, he always claimed to be the first person who said "fuck" on Australian TV because he did it by accident on one of the live shows. So it couldn't be sense. And even the rating on Prime says there's some nudity, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm hanging out for what nudity do we get on the Graham Kennedy live in Melbourne tonight? But yeah, it's such a different era. So he's saying Rob Zombie has a style that's different. Not a huge fan of dialogue. Uses cussing to be edgy rather than natural conversation. It's a fine line. It's a fine line with the swears. As we all know, when I was doing the YouTubes, I did the swears for a while. So she say you work for Kiss FM, forced to do radio license course, went for 3 weeks. One of the only bits of info you remember. Safa, you asking how long did the Graham Kennedy show go for? A couple of decades. It was in the 60s and 70s. He was just like Mr. TV, Graham Kennedy. He was so many decades on Australian TV. And of course, I never saw that because, okay, back in the day, I was living in Dubbo. We didn't get the commercial channels. We got an amalgam. But also, those shows were actually live. And that was like pre-satellite. So it was literally just Melbourne only. Like those shows weren't even airing in Sydney. So yeah, back in the day, the viewing on the state commercial channels used to be quite different. There'd be some shows that were the same, but they would have a lot of shows that were unique to the city. Google says 4 seasons. Well, it probably had multiple different names because he was doing it in the 70s and 80s. And I'm just talking about Graham Kennedy being on TV. He was on the TV all the time for decades. So if a DJ reads a commercial, it could be a tax write-off sponsorship rather than ad time. Okay. God, you're remembering your radio training. Nice. No, see, okay, that's a different one, Safa. The one I was watching was in the 1960s. So that's what I mean. They may have slightly changed the name of the show at different times, but he had different Tonight shows. He had another one that was late 70s into the 80s. There was a late night thing that was a very different style to the earlier ones. And then he was on Blankety Blanks. When I were a youth, he hosted Blankety Blanks, where all the celebrities would come on and try and be funny. Oh yeah, that was another name of the show, In Melbourne Tonight. Yes. But yeah, he was just on so much TV for so long under several different guises. But he was just basically, in Melbourne at least, on TV all the time. Oh, the crow call going, fuck. What a wacky guy he was. So, yeah. But yeah, it is very trippy watching a little bit of this show that's like from such a different era, culturally, technologically, and it's just like, God, just the style of the show is fucking wild. But yeah, my first thought was like, oh, this is like a podcast is now. Uh, so, it's almost like the more things change, the more they stay the same. Whereas Hey Hey, It's Saturday was a staple for TV growing up. Yeah, well, and again, I never saw that as a kid because it didn't air on the country network. But yeah, it was a Saturday morning show for a while. And then they decided, because their audience had grown up, they could make it an evening show. So if you looked up, there were 17 seasons of In Melbourne Tonight. That makes sense. But yeah, there were different versions of the Graham Kennedy show. I have no idea what media is in Dubbo at the moment. I know what Impartia is. Definitely not when I was a kid. We had, what did we have? We had a commercial station that ran an amalgam of shows from the 3 city networks, plus some locally produced DOS. ABC, that was it for TV, those 2 channels. Radio, we had ABC AM and a local commercial AM, and that was it. Probably Radio National or ABC Classic or whatever. No, Bathurst was still a country town. So when I was there were just the 2 channels. It's all different now. They do have multiple free-to-air channels in the country now. But when I were a youth, there was just the 2 channels, ABC and 1 commercial channel. And that were all. I guess at a certain point we might have been able to pick up SBS. Yeah, Bath's about halfway between Dubbo and Sydney. It's just on the Dubbo side of the mountains. You keep heading towards Sydney, you're going up into the mountains, into Lithgow and various places. So when we were young, I had 5 analog channels. Yes, I think they have 5 in the country now. I'm not sure. Because saying the country channels were the same all around. New South Wales, 2 channels, the 80s, 3 to the mid 90s, and then it went up to 5. Yeah. Yeah, and what was interesting, because then I go to uni and people I'm friends with, and they talk about shows they watched, because they had channel 7, 9, and 10. We had 1 commercial channel, and it would pick and choose shows from the different networks. So we have shows from across networks. So I have people saying, "Oh yeah, you remember watching this?" Like, "Yeah, I remember watching. You remember watching this? Oh yeah, I remember watching. Remember watching this? Never heard of it. No idea what you're fucking talking about." And they're like, "Well, how do you know that and that, but not this?" And I was like, "It's just like fucking. It is what it is." There was a very limited number of things I could view. Ray standing up hurts. Weekend was absolutely good. I've actually kind of fucked my back up. I was going to physio for my hip, and I was also like, and that's the things being ongoing that I'm worried about. But also, I think I fucked up my back, but that's maybe more temporary. So I'm going back to see him again this week. So struggling with the old man stuff, quite honestly. It's a bit friggin' rough. But God damn it. Wish I'd taken the fingers out of the buddy splint earlier. Got all these fucking pressure sores on both cameras. It's annoying the shit out of me. I want my fingers to go back to normal, god fucking damn it. Trick said you visit grandma and get the extra channels. Sometimes, when I was a kid, we would go on holidays up around the Port Stephens area, which is not that far from Newcastle. And so we would pick up the Newcastle channel, NBN. That was the original NBN before the National Broadband Network, the ABC. And sometimes at night, you could pick up the Sydney channels. Madam Butterfly, you grew up hybrid, comes to TV, decent amount of channels on basic cable, switched over digital cable at the age of 10. Thanks, Race. That is actually a good tip with the moisturizer. I love, I always get flashbacks because the US always had way more TV stations than Australia or England did. And it always reminds me of the line from Pink Floyd's The Wall, which they got from when they toured the US, being in a hotel room. I've got 16 or 15 channels of shit on the TV to choose from. Because again, in England, they had 2 or 3, depending on the era. So all the channels in the US were fucking wild. And yeah, then like we get some pay TV and you get like dozens of channels, but then you find out that the US has hundreds of channels or something. It's fucking wild. Raise, how long's the splint? Okay, I did it 2 weeks ago. I'm going to go in and see a GP and get him to look at it and get an assessment this week, basically. They said 2 to 4 weeks, and me being an old man, it's probably got to be more like 4 weeks. But Justin, that is a solid reason for not doing Foxtel, the expense and the Murdoch of it. Both legitimate calls. I got Foxtel when the young'uns were young to have all the cartoon channels. Actually, there were 2 reasons to get the cartoon channels: to keep the kids happy and to get the comedy channel, because I wanted to watch The Daily Show and The Colbert Report. And then I got addicted to the movie channels as well. Oh, no. The fucking oh yeah, sorry, you're saying tape rather than bandage. Well, I don't want the fingers together anymore. There's like it's on its own now, which I've chosen to do because them being bandaged together really fucked up both fingers, honestly. But yeah, I'm literally going to go see a GP and say, hey, is this going okay? Should I be doing anything else? So you could say, it sounded great at first, then you go to visit friends, spend the night, wake up watching cable TV. So many fucking ads. Yeah, well, for a number of years, they weren't allowed to run ads. It was part of the licensing deal, but that ran out. I suffer. ABC3, free cartoon channel. Yes. Well, that's a glass half full. It's only a pinky. Rain, do we have universal health care? Yes and no. Like, yes. Okay, when I did this, I went to a thing that's recently been set up by the state government. They call urgent care clinics. They're free, and it's to route people away from the hospitals. It's basically, if you've got something that's not life-threatening, go to the urgent care clinic. I went there. I did have to wait 2 hours, but if I'd went to casualty, it'd be 6 to 12 hours wait. Saw a doctor, got an X-ray done, got it bandaged up. $0. That was free. So, Madam Buffalo blaming your silly and gross behavior on TV. Fair enough. Yeah. It's actually, Rain, this is actually to divert people from the ER. We call that casualty or emergency here. And yes, you can always go to the ER, and depending what happens, you usually won't get charged for it. But also, like, because I've been to the ER in the last 6 months when something wrong with my son. He goes, I think there's something really wrong. Can you take me to emergency? So I did. Turned out there was nothing seriously wrong, but we were there for 6-8 hours at least. It was fucked. But yeah, the urgent care clinics are relatively new. They're because you can't usually go straight to GP because you have to book. So it's like, okay, these clinics are free. You go there so you don't go to the hospital. And that's where I went for this, and it didn't cost me anything. Semi-ER, yeah, it's to make you not go to the ER. And I guess like, they triage you when you go to casualty or emergency. If you don't arrive in an ambulance, you might wait quite a while. But they triage you. Like if you're fucked, they're going to take you straight in. And yes, we do have private insurance, and in a lot of ways, you're disadvantaged if you don't have it. I have private insurance because I'm paranoid because of the amount of cancer in my family. If I detect something is wrong, I am going straight into the private system, not waiting. Because waiting for surgery for even important things can be months or years. It's like, no, I'm not waiting. So, but yeah, the urgent care clinics are a good alternative, having been to them a couple of times now. And it's smart because, like I said, they're trying to divert people from showing up at the casualty ward at the hospitals, which are already overworked. So yeah, you get to see a GP and or a nurse. And like I said, I got x-rays, I got treated. It cost me $0, which I was pretty happy about. Whereas you need private insurance due to your career. Yeah, no, I guess you're high risk, yes. Oh, yes, and Rain, you're aware of waiting times. Yeah, if it's not actually life-threatening, the wait is long. No, so if the hospital system's not broken, it's under a lot of stress. Yeah, the ambulance ramping, it's definitely under a lot of stress. I'd say the US system's fucking broken. Okay, so Rain, I have private health insurance. That's for hospital. And dental is not covered under the public system, nor is optical. I get my thing. Yours gets deducted from salaries via tax. Well, definitely a chunk of our tax pays for the public health system. There's just private insurance on top of that. So it's complicated and it's, under-resourced, under-financed, overstressed. But, the brave professionals in the system soldier on. So, we do what we can. So, thank you for asking. My breakfast baguettes were yum. Still doing my tradition for weekends. Madam Butterfly, your system's broken. No, let's do. Well, we'll just read about the levels of medical bankruptcy that happens in the US. That just doesn't fucking happen here. Someone getting bankrupted by hospital bills. It's like, what? Yes. That's the thing. The US has one of the best health systems in the world for rich people. Like if you have the money, it's one of the best in the world. If you don't have the money, very challenging. So for my breakfast baguettes are always just bacon. I butter the baguette and put it on the sandwich press so the bread freshens up a bit, soaks in the butter, and get the crispy exterior of the baguette, and it's yummy as fuck. And Rain, yes, going to the US is scary because of the healthcare costs. I absolutely agree. Like one time I went there, and I was coming from the Philippines. This was with my ex, whose family's all from the Philippines. And I was sick. I think I picked something up in the Philippines, got to America, and I wasn't getting better. I think I was breaking out in a rash. One of her aunts was a nurse at a clinic, and she just talked the doctor into seeing me. Like, they didn't charge me, and she said, like, yeah, his family, can you do it for us? And he gave me all these prescriptions. There was some antibiotics, and there was something for the rash. And I went into a chemist, a drugstore, with the prescription, and I handed over the prescription, and so the pharmacist is looking at it, and they just went with one of them. I think it was the cream. They were just like, "This is $700. Do you want it?" I was like, "Fucking no!" And that was 25 years ago, and I was just like, "Fucking what?" And Justin, yes, travel insurance. Don't travel without travel insurance. But even then, there are limits. Like, just when they said, like, do you want to pay $700 for whatever this is? Like, no, I don't. Plus, the fun thing with our health service, if you have a lot of conditions and you keep on having to pay for doctor's visits and prescriptions in particular, there's an upper limit. When you've paid a certain amount for prescription medicine, from then on, it's free. Like, I worked with a guy who was like a Liberal Party voter, not really into socialized systems, but he had a number of chronic health things, and he would go over the prescription limit every year and just end up getting, for like the last quarter of the year, free prescriptions. So that's a nice touch in our system. But in Buffalo, you get travel insurance, definitely. Oh, yes, well, you're a regular traveler, travel insurance. It's too risky if you don't. Could end up tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, or also people refusing to treat you because they go, well, we're not going to get paid because you don't have insurance. So it's very fraught. Health treatment around the world. Sure, you're watching something at a mate's place, drinking Thai whiskey from Thailand. Nice. Yeah. You get good whiskeys. Remember, a recent world competition, the winning whiskey was from India. Rain, there's a tiered system for insurance in the US. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, the fucking US system is so complicated. So I'm not going to bother with the breathalyzer. I know I'm at a very low level, and it doesn't work anyway. It was called Cavalan, Thai whiskey from Thailand. Nice. But yeah, people make whiskey all around the world, and you will tend to find good whiskey wherever you are, because whiskey makers, if they're independent, tend to be really obsessive. Even actually when they're working for a big company, they tend to be really obsessive. But yeah, if you get like a local whiskey, like anywhere in the world, there's a very good chance it's going to be pretty good, just because they obsess about it. I love that. He got it, the bottle as a promotional gift, had a sticker saying no commercial value. Damn. That's a tax thing, definitely. Not strictly speaking true, saying it has no commercial value, but for the definition of tax, I think they're like, well, we don't have to pay tax on this because it's a gift. It has no commercial, or it's a promotion. It has no commercial value, which is a slight stretch of things, but yeah. Yes, that out-of-network hospital thing does not happen in Australia. God, the US system's just so broken. I'm obsessively looking at these clarified custard things I'm doing. They're going so slowly. I'm just going to leave them overnight. I'm going to check them when I get home from work tomorrow because I'm going into the office. So your friend, you had a few of them as old fashions. And he'd never had an old fashioned before, drinking it. Old fashions are the best. I love that. Right? Have the whiskey with a sticker saying no commercial value. It makes it more valuable on eBay. Or having the whiskey and coke. That really upsets the whiskey people, mixing it with coke. So far, I did go into the office last week one day. And I know I'm going in tomorrow. I don't know if I'll go in on Tuesday. And then I'm off on holidays. Well, there's a reason that whiskey and coke and rum and coke are so popular. A lot of people like the flavor. Oh, watching the cricket and drinking the good whiskey. Nice. Yeah, no, Rays, I'm 100%. I love pissing off the whiskey wankers because they hate just the idea of you making cocktails with it. It's just like there's a random one. Fucking Gervais and his fucking vodka. I mean, yeah, it's vodka. I mean, honestly, weak as piss is a thing to promote. It's funny to me when the whiskey wankers get super upset because I've got some pretty flash whiskeys, not absurdly high end, but I got some pretty flash whiskeys, and yeah, I make cocktails with them. The only time I drink it straight is when I'm comparing different whiskeys. So it's a Lemmy. Oh, right. Pick that fight all they want. Yeah. See, Gervais being so fucking judgy goes and releases fucking vodka. Oh, yeah, but like you said, he's an inconsistent, sanctimonious twit. Like, all about animal rights, but will treat people like shit. Who wins the fight? The precious whiskey buzzy or the Motorhead fan base? Yeah. Yeah. It's extremely rare for me to have like whiskey and coke or rum and coke, just because it's not my thing. I've got no objection. But yeah, I'm the cocktail guy, and that's enough to piss off the wankers, which I find really humorous. I used to have thinking about Justin and Rain. Healthcare shouldn't be a for-profit. No, it shouldn't. Also, housing should not be. Our society is getting increasingly fucked because housing is being treated as a financial gain commodity, not a basic human need and right. It's just fucking bullshit that all these ridiculous tax laws have been structured to make. Housing should be a thing that lets rich people get richer. It's like, no, housing should be a thing everyone has. And healthcare should be a thing everyone has, not something that is a profit center for certain businesses. We're saying, should you say Motorhead fans are geeks at the PC races? Gig goers have gotten to an age where they have kids and jobs. Yeah. And like me, they're half deaf. And so don't really want to go to the gigs anymore. Suffered it. Howard did that housing. Howard fucked everything. Mostly he fucked political discourse by making racism a centerpiece of it. Yeah, but Rain, it's not about luxury. It's about one-bedroom apartments being unaffordable for families. Yes, all the people who used to go to gigs are falling over while helping their kids move and fucking up their pinky fingers. I used to be a wild rager. I saw Midnight Oil at the Horton Pavilion. I did a New Year's Eve rave at the Horton. I used to be wild. I used to be crazy. Now I fucked up my pinky falling over in the rain. Ah, it's sad but true. Well, dude, this was tough. I'm so lucky it was my left hand. I could probably live without wanking for 4 weeks, but not being able to wipe my ass properly. I didn't actually even put a cherry in tonight. I was just having clarified drinks. I didn't have an orange peel. Didn't have a cherry. No bonus time. I got to get up earlier than usual tomorrow for work. So I'm going to go now. Jolly good chats tonight. I love how few people came in just because it was Doctor Who day, but it was. No cherry, no chickens. Oh, look, I'll bring the chickens back. They're just over there. Maybe I'll bring the chickens back later in the week. Alrighty. See you all probably on Wednesday. Yes. And we'll see what's what. But I'll say bye for now.
You are totally fucked up!